You know what this means, don't you? It's back again. Right, sorry about the camera being at a slightly squiffy angle. Actually, I could just move the bench. It is, so the bench is now squiffy to the room, so that's doing my OCD in. Another deep sigh. It's back again. So we fixed this about 2 years ago, and then we fixed it again about a year ago, when we ended up retaping it all because the tape had gone. I think in between then it had gone to a local bike shop for some work on it, and then had another go at it. The bottom line is the tyres keep going down. Now, I think we've spoken about this before, many times. Tubeless tyres are not guaranteed to stay up there, not like car tyres. They don't have the volume and the weight and the grip that a tubeless tyre on a car has. And in particular with these, because the tyres are so narrow, I think these are 20, can't open, these are 28s. Oh, Jesus Christ, no wonder. So these are 25s. So I mean, I normally run 28s on my SLR1s. The narrower the tyre, the harder it is to get it to seat. They are an absolute nightmare, which, I'll be honest, I don't care about all this rolling resistance crap, and how many tests GCN do, it's a load of bollocks. Simple physics, you do the maths for yourself. You have a larger surface contact area on a wider tyre touching the road, therefore you have more friction, right? You have to run wider tyres at a lower pressure, therefore that contact patch increases even more, right? They have a wider profile, therefore there is more air resistance on them. So I don't care what fucking crap they've done. I know when I ride a 23 skinny tyre, it's like fast as anything. It feels quicker. I'm at least a mile an hour average pace quicker than if I ride a skinnier tyre. So that's the reason I don't go anything below a 28, is simply because it's very difficult to mount. There's your problem, boys and girls. I reckon that's got a lot to do with it. One, there's a whole opportunity for the cycle industry to go and sell you a whole load of tyres you didn't need because it's the rage to have fat tyres now. Two, they are a lot more comfortable. I'll give you that, they are definitely a lot more comfortable. But the main reason is, it's because they're a lot easier to bloody seat on the rims, which is why everybody's going, hey, you should all run 32s and 36s and things like that. I mean, that bike, that Defy I've got, it's got 34s on or 32s. They're massive. They're coming off. 28s are going back on that, same as I was riding before. 28s, I think it's a good compromise. You're just comfortable enough, and you're not impacting your wind resistance, you're not affecting certainly the pace I ride at, because let's face it, I'm not Podger, or whatever his name is. So that's my view of things anyway. But here we have it again. It's got a brand new tyre on it, and it won't inflate. So we're going to try and inflate it, but I'll be honest, I think we're flogging a dead horse with this. But as I was getting to with the other ones, tubeless aren't guaranteed that they're going to be 100% leak free. So I've got 3 bikes running tubeless at the moment, or I've got 3 sets of wheels. So I've got an original set of SLR2 carbon wheels with 28 C tyres on. Can't remember what brand they are. They're possibly Giant. And one of the tyres goes down in about a week, so that it's squishy. It's what I call squishy, but it's still on the rim and it's still firm. And if you drop the rim from that kind of height, it's not going to rim out. It's not going to bash the rims. There's enough in it. You couldn't ride it. You'd be smashing the wheel. It's probably got about 10, 20 psi in it. Now the other wheel on that same setup. That drops, but not as much. That might be take 3 times as long to get down to that kind of level. Once they get down to a certain level, there's not enough air pressure in the tyre to push out from wherever it is it's leaking, either through the sidewall or through the bead. Now the other two I've got over there, they're both, if I pump them up today and come back next week, they've both lost about 20 psi. So that's just a fact. You just have to keep checking your tubeless tyres. It's not like you can check them once a month with your inner tubes, because inner tubes are slightly porous, they lose something. The Propel, that takes like the Defy, at the moment, brand new set of tyres, really thick tyres, massive tyres as well, so again, less likely to leak. And they are also hookless as well, and I think hookless is another factor because you're less likely to get, I think the hooked ones are fine when they're first on, but unless somebody really gets into that every nook and cranny on the hook and cleans out all the crap, you're always going to have a possibility that you could lose something around the hook. But anyway, it is what it is. Let's see if we can pop this back onto the bead down here, otherwise we're heading off to the garage to get the compressor, because that's what I had to do last time. So we will give it the shock treatment, see if we could bounce it up onto the bead. That valve's undone. Fucking hell. Well, that might have something to do with it then. The valve was actually undone. I've just undone that with my finger. I went to check the top cap was fully undone, and you can see it's been leaking in there because it's leaked into the lid. Interesting. Let's see if that's what the problem was. We need to take the valve out to shock it up anyway, so I suspect it's been leaking in there. That valve's absolutely full of crap as well. So it's either been leaking, well, it's definitely been leaking round the valve. I can't see that was a good seal, if I can do it with my fingers. And the valve itself is full of crap, so I think we'll stick a new valve on that. Can't remember if I ordered some. I was supposed to order some. Right, I need to get this pumped up. You don't need to watch me pumping this up. I'll just get hot and sweaty. Moment of truth. Be very surprised if we get this up on the bead, to be honest. Right, prove me wrong. No, definitely 2 pops. It's up on the bead. That was depressingly easy. Right, your battery's going flat. Let me, I don't know what to say after all that. This isn't going to work, it's just popped straight on. Which does lead me to believe that some tyres do mount better than others. And I do like Schwably. But the good mountain bike tyres, never really used them as these. These are brand new, they've not even been run, it's still got its nipples on. Anyway, right, enough of that. Moisten nipple. Fun part. Right, let's find another valve. See, I think that's the valve I put in it, so they've not even swapped the valve out. Yeah, that's the valve I put in. It's exactly the same. Right, stick a new one in anyway, for what they cost. So far into this, we're just 1 valve in. Right, let me just knock that off. And I don't think I've ever managed to do that before. Right, he says as he knocks a load of air out of it. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this another quick pump up with some air, get it up to the pressures it needs to be up, and then we're going to give it a hose down and just see if it is leaking. So, common places that they leak. Valve stem, actually unlikely, right? It's either going to be leaking, if it is the valve, it'll either be leaking where the rubber, let's find one, it'll either be leaking, so there's a valve stem, so there's a rubber block on there that goes into the hole on the other side, and then that gets pinned against the the thing there, and that pins it in. Very unlikely it's going to leak there actually, because the sealant tends to clog that up anyway. The other place it could leak is around the valve stem if it's not screwed in, which is where I think this one was. You've got two problems here with this one, so this is where people make a mistake. I've done it myself. Is you whale down on that too much and you tighten it up too much, and it actually then starts to spin the whole valve stem inside the wheel. You don't realise, especially with these black ones, because it's hard to see. So you tighten it up too much and it actually starts to actually slacken that off, so it releases the pressure on the inside of the wheel in there, and then potentially can get through. Be honest, again, it's not going to leak because the sealant's going to seal it up, as long as you don't undo it too much. Right, so we've eliminated those two now. The other place it can leak, so the rim tape, so these spokes have all got holes on the inside of here, unless you've got a Campag wheel that doesn't have them, and the spokes feed through, and the nipples come out here, and each nipple is passed through using a magnet through the valve hole. It's dropped in, fed through here, and then it goes on to the end of the thing. And the way they work is, because it's very hard to bend that and get it screwed on, they actually, they're clipping spokes, they'll clip into the hub in there. So that's not fastened to the hub. You hold your spoke loose, you pull your nipple out, you screw your spoke into it, drop the end of the nipple into the catcher there, and then tighten it and pull it. Really takes long. That's why Campag wheels are really expensive. So any of them that don't have any holes on the inside and don't need rim tape, that's how they do it. Very, very, very good wheels. I had a set of the compact Zondas and they were brilliant. Loved them. I converted them to tubeless. Probably the easiest thing I've ever done. Just chuck a set of tyres on, and that's it. Chuck some fluid in, bang. No tape. Right, tape. So tape. Tape's on the rim, covers over them holes. It also, the tape has to go over the top of the bead. So there is actually a slightly different profile in a tubeless wheel. It has like a little bead, and you'll see it on your car tyres as well. You won't notice it. It's like a hump, and the idea is that snap you hear when it goes over. That's the noise of the bead jumping over the ridge that's round the edge of here, and that's what holds it in. If they get low, is they come off. There's also a hook in there as well to stop them pushing off that way, but they decided they don't need them, because the beadings just get harder and harder and harder on these, which is why they're really difficult to seat, because you've got to get it to jump over and onto the bead. So it can leak by getting round the back of the tape and then coming out there. So when you hose it down, you need to hose with soapy water. You need to make sure that you're hosing round the spoke holes as well, because what you'll see is big bubbles. If it's really bad, like this wheel was, and we've got a piece that was fractured, you actually all the goo starts pissing out through the holes there as well. So always make sure you're hosing around there. The final place that it can leak is actually the sidewall of the tyre. Now this is the most common one. Usually caused by people overinflating the tyres. If you overinflate the tyres, you stretch the rubber, and the rubber's got weaving behind it, and you stretch it and it breaks down the sidewall. They also deteriorate with age anyway, that's quite normal. Now there's ways to fix that, and I've had brand new tyres that are never been fitted before that I've put on. I've got them up, only put them up to half the maximum pressure, and they've been pissing air out to the point where they were flat within 2 days. Right, so my money would have been on originally that it was the sidewalls that have gone on this. Either they've been overinflated or they are just one of the ones, it was the Mavic ones that they produce under a different brand name, but they are Mavic. They're terrible. Every single one of them I've had has had the sidewall gone. You can fix that, just put extra slop in and roll the slop around like that. And that's all you need to do. Just keep doing it, leave it on its side. It takes about 4 days to do it. You roll it round, it'll fix it. The stuff leaches in to all the imperfections and gums it up and coats the inside of the tyre. It's spot on, you've just got to do it. But I think with this one, given that that was only finger tight in there, I think that's your culprit. But we're going to find out in a minute because we're going to get the blower. Right, pumped it up, stuck 70 psi in there, so that's probably where you'd be running these, but actually you could probably run them a bit higher. I haven't checked what the maximum is, it usually tells you on here. 70 to 110 psi on these, so these are actually quite decent pressures. Normally you find some of the tubeless, the pressures are really low on them for exactly that reason. So again, these are probably really good sidewalls, so they know they can take that extra pressure. So we'll just give it a bit of a fluff over and see if we're getting any foamage. So again, like I said, do all the spoke holes. Can't hear anything. It's a shame I have to take the core out to blow it up because because there's no way you would have got it done up with just a pump because it was off the bead. But we would have been able to see that that it was leaking through there. It's definitely not leaking through there. I mean, some of these, when you put the water on, you put your thumb on it, you can actually feel it bubbling under your finger with the water. So I'm not seeing anything around there. I wonder if I need a bit more washing up liquid in here because I'm not getting anything. We've got some foam. I might need to put some more washing up liquid in that. I'm not seeing anything at all. Thought I might have seen something on the rim because the problem is because it's been down for a couple of days now. All the solvent, the sealant that's in there has dried, and potentially it's got trapped in the edge and it could be leaking through there. But I'm not seeing anything. I mean, I thought that was something there, but it's not. It's just dried up sealant. So we'll give it a quick run off afterwards so we can, because it does look a bit of a mess. And you can see how much sealant's there. So what we'll probably do is tighten it up, is let it down again and put a shot of some more sealant in there. No, I'm not getting anything. I think that's what it was. I think they've done a good job of the tape. I think these are really good quality tyres. I think the only thing that they've not done is that valve. Cool. Well, that's a win, isn't it? Right, I don't think you need to see any more of this. I'm going to leave it now for a couple of days and see what happens to it. And see if it goes down. But I can't see anywhere where it is leaking. I'm not seeing any fuzz at all. There's a little bit there, but that's just where it's sealing around the edge. So there's a tiny little amount of fuzz there. That will not. I'm not seeing anything else anywhere. See if it comes back. I mean, it will if I roll it round and put it on its edge and spin it round a bit. I will definitely need to put some more solution in there because I know most of it ended up on the floor, so I think we'll do that now. We'll dry it down, so I'm not going to, actually don't need to dry it down. Let's get some more solution in. Right, I think we're set up. I've got some really liquidy, normally I use that stuff, people moan that I use that stuff. Wouldn't use this on 25s definitely. This is in a tube sealant, it will seal massive holes. But it's slightly gloopier, so you have to put a bit more in it or mix, so go 50% that and 50% that, but you've got to make sure that they are compatible, they're not going to react with each other. So I've tested them, I know which ones work with that, and I'm not going to tell you because that's me that's worked that out, and you need to work it out for yourself and not having you come back and say, well, it didn't work for you, because I can't guarantee the composition of these different things in there. Now, I've not tested this with that either. I know that the Giant solutions in here, I know that's compatible with the Giant solution. So we'll use the Bontrager one. It's a nice liquidy one, and we'll chuck about, I'm probably going to chuck about 25 mil in. 25 mil will do it. Should just cover what we've lost in 30 to 40. I mean, they're narrow tyres, so 30 mil should be okay as a maximum. So. Oh, you bugger, you fell off the rim, didn't you? Right. I knew I should have put the... that's the problem with 25s, they just don't stay on the rim. That's not good, it's gone off. Right. If we can get some more of the stuff out, because this stuff's gone off. Well, it's gone solid. Let's see if I can get it to come back. No, that's gone off. Bugger. Somebody gave me that as well. I knew I should have used it straight away. Yeah, that's gone off. I'll probably just plug the end of that up. Yeah, it's separated. Bugger! That's annoying. Right, I'll come back. I've actually got the Giant stuff here now, so this should be okay. Never had one go off before, so I don't know if somebody's left it with the lid off or it's not been screwed up properly. I do like these because they've got a squirty lid. Oh, so I've got a really naff plasticky bit inside that's not come away with the lid. Right. So let's try again. There's a tip as well. If you're going to do it so the valve's up to one side. Spin that round. Get that off. That's it. So when you're pushing it in, it's gonna collect down there. Right. I think what we'll do is we will try giving it an inflation. Don't know if there's any gas left in this. Let's click that lid over. Right. Let me pump that back up and then we'll try shooting it through the valve. Back on. Right, so I'm just screwing the bottle over the top. Come on, bite. I think we've got it up onto the rim, it's just not quite biting. Which is really annoying because we got it first time. Valve's come undone again, just for good measure. So it could have been they undid it by accident when they took the shocker off, assuming they used a shocker. Right, that's sealed itself. Right, I think we've cracked it. Let me just stick some more air in it. Oh, that was a bit of a battle. I had to have 2 bites at it with the pump because it was still leaking out of there, and it just kept dropping down to about 40 psi, so I just angled it so the sludge was at the bottom where it wasn't quite seating on the rim. You could see there it wasn't quite seating properly. Or there must have been a bit of muck that's got behind it when it came off the rim the second time. I mean, it just shows the difference. So when you snap them up using the without the valve, I mean, you can see great chunks of sealers coming off when I'm rubbing it, the towel down here. So alright, just give it a quick clean out, just see what's going off, just make sure there's no sealant coming out. Seems to be just that one side. Alright, so we'll give it a quick hose down now. So it's up to about 90 psi, so we're not quite at maximum. But if it's going to have a leak, it's going to have a leak. If it's going to come through the sidewalls, it's going to come through the sidewalls now, because we're up to a lot higher pressure. Again, check just in case when it came off last time it caught the tape, because that's the other thing, when they roll off the bead, they can take the tape with them as well. A little bit of something there, I think it's just muck. Yeah, I'll put a bit more washing up liquid in it now. So, alright, so just need to wait and see. Not seeing any fuzz. I think we might have cracked it. There's nothing leaking around there. Nothing leaking around there. Just checking that because it did look like we were getting something. I think it was just the water running down onto it. So if you see any bits around the rim, it's best just to rub them with your finger, because it could be it's just the foam from squirting it's collected there. And I think that's looking okay. I think we've cracked that. Can't see anything. Like I said again, we'll leave it. A little bit of foam building up there. I don't think that's anything though. Nothing. Possibly got something there, it's only small though. Again. Yeah, I think if anything that's leaking around a bit of sealant, we'll pull that out. I think we have cracked it. I think that's what it was. I think it was the valve. Well, we know it was the valve. It was alright last time when we did it before we put the sealant back in, so it wasn't leaking anywhere. So it's only started leaking again since we put the sealant in. Right. Now it's wet. Let's see if we can get the remains of the sticky off, because it sat on a piece of cardboard in the back of the BMW and stop it from damaging the floor, and it stuck to it. Right, so I'm going to leave this now for a couple of days and we will see where it ends up, but I think that's what it was. I think when they've used the shock, I think they've done like I did, and it's undone the valve. I've had that happen a couple of times when I've been taking the shock off. Just drying the wheel up a bit so I don't get any more of the fuzzy bits disappearing down there. I'm looking at the spokes. There's no sign of anything. There's just the suds from me spraying it collecting on there. So that looks good. possibly a little bit there. No, that's not. That's another lump of dried up sealant. So every time it drops off the rim, some of that sealant gets pulled back down again and ends up sat on the bead surface area, which is why I suspect when we didn't, blast it up with the shocker without the valve in, it doesn't get the same explosive bang up onto the bead. So it kind of slowly goes up there and it doesn't get a chance to really welly all the bits of crap out of the way. No, I think we're looking good. Right, I will let Wayne know the good news. Right, I'll call that a win. I'm not covered in pink goo. And we actually think we've got a smoking gun. We know what the problem is. Most of these times we're not reseating them, I've got no idea. But just need to clean all the bits out now. See how that goes. It's the first time I've used the giant stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Bought it for mine, but we've ended up using it for Wayne. Oops. So it's trips and hazards. It's absolutely saturated down here. Right, so there we go. Another tubeless tyre video. Nice wheels these. I've got these on my Propel. This has come off a Propel. The SLR1s with the original decals. They're the really minimalistic ones. I did prefer these decals. And you can't buy these. I want to buy these because somebody took the decals off my bike and I want to put them back on. So they're the SLR1 discs. Nice. Right, there you go. Hope that was useful to somebody. It's always fun watching me do tubeless tyres because you never end up whether it's going to be all over the ceiling, all over me, or me just generally swearing and having to go and get the pressure washer out, the compressor out. But no, I think we've cracked it. Hey, I'll call that a win.